So we're just not smart enough. I really believe it. I think that what we do is we take what we have, we're so entitled and so empowered, we're not thinking the way we should. And that's why I say digital is everything, but not everything is digital. This is really an important, incredibly important concept for me. I'm going to talk a little bit about it and give you some proof points. But it's really quite simple, right? Because even the New York Times as a printed newspaper comes from a digital source. Everything today, just about, comes from a digital source. But not everything is digital. So the truth of the matter is, if you go back, and it's very easy, you can Bing or Google. You say, I got to get the Bing in first because of the client thing. But if you can search and find out, and you can do this because it's all true, right? Go back about 15 years and read what the analysts were saying, where we would be today, right? There would be no street-level retail at all stores would be closed, restaurants would be dead, movie theaters would be empty, malls would be shut down. Why? Because we would be tethered to our computer screens, sitting in our basements. We'd be like this because we wouldn't be able to go anyplace, and that's all there would be in the world. But we know that's not true. That didn't happen. Now, the reason it didn't happen is because of mobile, and I'll get to what mobile is in a minute and what it's not, right? But so what's happened is that the real world has become even more powerful, right? What's happening in the real world is ever more powerful to us. So if you go to any major city in the world, and I've been to many of them, right? Just look at what's happening. The explosion of small stores, the explosion of retails, the explosion of incredible entrepreneurs doing incredible things in real life, not just online. And it's amazing. And that's because digital is everything, but not everything is digital. So let me give you some examples. I love these, right? And I'll go quickly through them, and we'll give copies of this to everybody. Anyone can have them. I'm happy to share all this stuff. Warby Parker. Warby Parker is one of my favorite examples in the world, right? Sales are second only in the US per square feet behind Apple and ahead of Tiffany, Wall Street, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. This is according to the Wall Street Journal just a couple of weeks ago. Now, why is that important? It's important because if you go back and look and read the business plan of Warby Parker, it was all about digital, right? They were going to create a digital business that was going to disenfranchise the entire eyeglass manufacture and distribution and yada, yada, yada in the world, and yet they opened up stores. Why was that? Well, because I got to tell you, folks, if you're not into Digibabble, and I'll talk about Digibabble in a second, you would have understood in 5 seconds that they had no business model. Just think about it. How many pairs, like this, you don't need a Harvard MBA for this. Just think about it, right? How many pairs of glasses do you have to create if you're going to send everybody a box of 5 or 6 or however many they send? Like, how many do you have to create, and how much breakage is it going to be, and what does it cost you to send it and to bring it back, and then to look at each pair when it comes back to make sure that it's the exact pair that you sent out and it's not broken, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So what happens? Very quickly, they ran out of inventory, duh. And what happened when they ran out of inventory? And you can find this quote, it's true. So they ran out of inventory, they invite their friends into the living room. They were still running it out of their house. They're trying glasses. And you know what the revelation was? Anybody know? The revelation was, wow. You know, when like people are trying on glasses together, it's an entirely different experience. It's great. We got to open up stores. Okay, amazing, right? It doesn't mean the digital business is bad. It doesn't mean that they can't play both, but it's not one or the other. Amazon, I love it. Amazon is opening up stores. We wrote about this 4 years ago. Everybody told me I was crazy. Wait, you haven't even seen anything yet. Bonobos, again, is very much like Warby Parker. It's great. People want to see the goods. They want to try them on. They want to try it. I love the fact that Hearst is working with Quad Graphics and printing new covers and doing new things. It's amazing. HMV, Airbnb, this is great, right? They're starting to print a magazine. They're printing a magazine. Why? Because they want to be different. They want to be different. How many of you read Monocle? I can't see. These lights are too bright. Monocle, anybody? Wow. All right, everybody go out and buy a copy because it's an amazing magazine. But the truth is, much like Wired, which I like. How many of you read Wired? More, right? So and you read the magazine, I take it. Sorry for doing this, but I can't see. Right? So Wired is a great example. So Wired, the magazine of our connected digital world, nobody goes online to their site. I never find anybody who looks at their site. Everybody reads the magazine. I see them on planes. I see them in different places reading it. Because sometimes there's a reason to do that. It's important. WeWork. Anybody work here? Anybody here have an office at WeWork? No? If you don't, you need to look this company up. They are amazing. What they figured out is that people who are sitting in those caves doing their little entrepreneurial businesses love to be together. And they love services that are real and things that are real. It's an amazing business. It is absolutely crazy. Of course, if you look at Google, top 3 searches in the UK, how to draw, how to kiss, how to crochet. Maybe that's why the UK isn't the place they are. List is an amazing company, so I love List. List understands, I don't think they've figured it out yet, but at least they understand that retail has to be serendipitous, right? You go into it. Why do you go into a retail store? You go into the store because it's kind of cool to walk around. You don't know what you're going to see. You turn a corner, there's something great. And that's why the average order online is not close to what the average order is offline for most stores and for most retail enterprises, and particularly in fashion. So what do? They're trying to figure it out. They understand it. They get it. And Billboard, 2014 was the best year for concert attendance in 20 years. What I really love, though, again, if you search Bing or Google, however you prefer, what you'll find, it's like people talk about these concerts, right, that I always went to as a kid because I love them, at least the ones I remember that I went to. So you go to those concerts, right? So now they're not really concerts or events, they're experiences, right? So we have live experiences. It's different. We never had concerts before. This is all new. But again, that's part of the problem of the world we live in. Again, Google opens up its first store. I think this is really critical, and I love it. So listen to what they said. The pace of innovation of the devices we all use is incredible, yet the way we buy them has remained the same for years. With the Google Shop, we want to offer a place where they can play, experiment, and learn about what Google has to offer. So what am I missing here? Like, are you all reading this with me? Right? So it's the same, but they're opening a store. Why is that? If it was the same, they would just do it all online or come up with some cool Google app to do it. They do it because the truth is, it's not a question of digital versus non-digital. It's not a question of what's real and not. It's a question of what people want to do and what we're about. And so there's a place for this and there's a place for that, which leads me to this notion of digibabble. I think this is the thing that is the absolute most dangerous. It's the thing that holds us back. It's the thing that stops us from being truly creative and innovative in our world. And digibabble is really simple. I made this word up, but you can use it as much as you want without any attribution, maybe. So very simple. The use or connotation of the word digital or any of its conceptually associated derivatives, such as mobile, which would be mobile babble, or social, which would be social babble, very similar, as a modifier to anything giving the illusion of new, never before seen, radically different, or worse, implying Luddite status, as in you are too traditional, or you don't understand. I love that, you don't understand. And that's always one of my favorite. It gets me, you can't even imagine how that gets me off. But that's the problem with digibabble, right? Because we assign powers to digital somehow, like it's Harry Potter, like give me a viral, make me a viral, okay, like I'm Harry Potter, you're a viral. I mean, what is that? Right? So digibabble is terrible. So here's some great digibabble, right? I'll give you a couple examples. I think some of what I showed you before was also part of it. So this is great. Wall Street Journal, November 2013, talks about Amazon mining its data, right? So Amazon was going to change the way we looked at production of video content, as in big video content, the kind of stuff that we like to watch on what used to be called TV. So what do they say? They say, listen, if Netflix can do it, we're 10 times better because we've got all this data and we know how to mine the data. Our algorithms are amazing. That's what we're going to do. That was November 2013. Here we are, August 2014, right? And what do they say? It's not like you can come in on Tuesday and the computer says, doot, 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 here are the shows you're going to do. You have to use judgment as well. Now, why was that? That's because everything they produced was shit, right? So now they figured it out. They hire great producers. They hire great directors. They pay a ton for content, and they come up with stuff like transgender stuff. I mean, that's amazing. Transparent. That is amazing, right? But that was the problem. The problem was they digibabbled themselves into a place that they couldn't get out of because it wasn't true. The algorithm had nothing to do with it. You don't watch Breaking Bad because some algorithm said it's a great show. In fact, I bet you the algorithm would tell you nothing. It would probably tell you it's a bad show. You don't watch Walking Dead because the algorithm said you like zombies, right? You don't watch, I don't know, Sons of Anarchy. I'm almost finished with this season. Like, there should be a law, no 7-season shows. It's making me crazy. But the truth is, you watch it because it talks to you, because it's important, and because they hire great directors, great, incredibly great writers and actors. Now, I think what's also interesting, think about all the great shows that we watch today, right? The best of the best, right? None of them, almost none of them, are using CGI or using special effects to any great extent. They are all great freaking dramas. They're or comedies or whatever, but they're all about people. They're all about experiences. They're amazing. And it's about the words. That's what we're back to. We're back to that world.